I like the idea that money is as available as the air I breathe. I like the idea of breathing in and breathing out more money. It's fun to imagine a lot of money flowing to me. I can see how my feeling about money affects the money that comes to me. I'm happy to understand that with practice I can control my attitude about money or about anything. I notice that the more I tell my story of abundance, the better I feel. I like knowing that I'm the creator of my own reality and that the money that flows into my experience is directly related to my thoughts. I like knowing that I can adjust the amount of money that I receive by adjusting my thoughts. Now that I understand the formula for creating, now that I understand that I do get the essence of what I think about, and most important, now that I understand that I can tell by the way I'm feeling whether I'm focused upon money or lack of money, I feel confident that in time I will align my thoughts with abundance, and money will flow powerfully into my experience.
Hi, hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome to this week's video. We left off last week with me talking about dismantling my life, doing things completely different, choosing myself and making myself a priority, and my entire life being flipped around in the last couple years. And in that video, I mentioned finances. We're getting into it today. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, if you're interested in what I have to say, please go ahead and subscribe. This is a series of videos and we have quite a few more coming, but today we're talking finances. We're talking finances, you guys. And I mentioned in the video last week, it has been a very, very difficult thing for me to discuss openly, talking about finances, realizing that my life has been the way it has financially because of choices that I've made. And it's just, you know, finances are, it just feels, or it can feel a little icky, right? Like just icky is the best way I can describe it. If the video where I uploaded where I talk about my life, what I've been through versus who I am, I really spill a lot of information in that video about a lot of trauma that I've endured throughout my life. That's why these conversations and talking about money and talking about finances are so difficult for me, because I have been traumatized by money. Also, I've worked in the finance industry. I've worked around people with a lot of money, and I am able to see so clearly, like, the greed part of this healing journey, part of putting myself first, part of this new life, abundance, is realizing how I used to think about things and how I'm able to think about things going forward, and the switches that I'm able to make between the two, and then how they connect outwardly. We're at a point now where I feel healed enough that I am able to get on camera and have these conversations and share this pain with you and share my truth with you and share my reality with you right now. And in a way, it's sort of like this little social experiment on myself, because it hasn't worked out for me yet. I see it working in small areas of my life, but I have not taken the knowledge that I hold and actually applied it to my life in a disciplined way to where it can really start rolling for me. This is just part of me sharing the process with you of how I'm going to get there. So let's go ahead and get into it. You want to know, how am I making it work? How am I earning? How am I paying for things? How am I surviving? How am I living? The cold hard truth is that I'm not. I am not making a living. I am not bringing in money the way that I know that I am capable of. I have been in survival mode and I've just been getting by. And that is my honest truth. I do not know week from week, day by day, how much money I'll have to live off of. I don't always know where the money is gonna come from. A couple years ago, when I walked away from my existing life, is what we'll call it, when I walked away from what I had known for a decade previously, when I hit my breaking point, I did not have a plan. I didn't have a plan at all. I just hit a breaking point. Did that with my head held high, knowing that I was choosing the right path for myself and knowing that what was in front of me was not going to be easy, knowing that I had little to work with, but just this knowing inside of me, like, things have to change right this moment. And so I came home to my mom's, and that's where I've remained now for the past couple years. At the time, I didn't have a job. This was after the pandemic and things were shifting within my work space anyhow. I didn't have a job, and I came to my mom's with the idea that I would, be earning an income, and that I would help her financially while living here, and that we would make things work together. And that is not exactly what has happened. I didn't know that these last couple of years were going to be the transformation that they were for me. I knew that by choosing myself and standing up for myself, I knew that it was going to lead me to a better life, that it was going to lead me to a healthier life, but I wasn't sure how, and I had no plan whatsoever. And what ended up happening is me being here at my mom's and taking on this entire healing journey, mind, body, and soul. I learned how the jobs that I've had in the past, how they led to my mental unrest, and how they were leading and feeding into my anxiety, my depression, and things that were making me ill in my life. I did not have a healthy work environment. I never have, because I've always been the one who takes the company values and holds them true to my own heart, and then I give so much of myself in the name of a company, thinking that that's the right thing. And I had such unhealthy work boundaries that it led me down this road where I realized how sick the work that I was doing and how I was operating and how I was doing it, how sick that was making me. And so now that I have had these revelations and I've learned these lessons, it's my responsibility not to go back into that. It's important to me that you know that I'm not doing this on my own. I could not have done this without my mom's help. She has been an absolute rock for me during this time. And this gift that she has given me to be in this home where I feel safe, where I feel loved, where I feel respected, where I feel worthy. The gift that she has given me when she looks at me and says, it's okay to take time to heal. It's okay. You're going to get through this, and I know you're going to be better on the other side. The gift of her making smart financial choices in her life so that she's able to provide for me and come through for me in this way has been life-changing. I'm struggling to find my words because there are no words to express what this time in being home with my mom has given me, and I cannot express to you how it has changed my life. Whereas if I felt like I had to rush right back out and get back into work and get a job, and I had to do all these things and I had to make all these things happen, I can see how if I did that, my mental health would have continued to decline. And there is not a day that goes by that I don't just absolutely feel this gratefulness in my heart for her and for this gift that she has given me and for the way that she loves me. And it is now my personal mission in life to be able to give that back to somebody else when they reach their breaking point and they they know they have to make a choice from themselves, but when you look at it on paper, none of it makes sense, and they don't know how anything is going to work, and they just need a break. They just need to breathe. Their soul just needs some rest. But what we see, it doesn't seem like that's possible. It doesn't seem like we're able to take that break out. It is now one of my personal missions in this life to be able to give that back to someone else, to give that break, that space, financially, physically, a home. You know, it's part of my heart now. And the way she has handled me, her adult child, has already been married twice, running home with my tail between my legs saying, Mom, I need you now. I need your help. I need to breathe. And her just being able to give that to me has been the greatest gift of my life. However, it doesn't sit well with me anymore. And that's what we're getting into. Something I just thought of that I thought is really important to mention is in these last couple years, how okay I got with having very little. Because of the trauma that has surrounded me around finances, I sort of got into this mindset of like, I was okay with having nothing. No, I don't want to say nothing, but I was okay with having less than what I know I deserve. I generally find like pure happiness from things that don't cost a lot of money. And because I'm like that, and because there are so many things about like a minimalist lifestyle that appeal to me, I just got in this process of like accepting that like a certain amount of money, not very much at all, was acceptable for me, and that it was okay, and that I was okay with just not having a lot. And I just got into this limiting belief of like, I was okay with just the bare minimum. And I really started feeling strongly like, okay, you're okay with the bare minimum, but with the bare minimum, you're only able to do so much. And the thing that makes me happiest in this life is taking care of other people and bringing joy and just making things special and just loving on people in a way that goes a little above and beyond. Message that started coming through probably about a year ago when I started being committed to switching my financial mindset was that the things that make me the happiest are going to require finances, are going to require some amount of money in order for me to continue doing them, and in order for me to do it the way that I really want to. And that I'm allowed to desire money. I am allowed to want money. It's okay that money comes to me. And also like just this mindset of I am worthy of money because of the way that I want to use it. This has been such a mind-blowing lesson for me to learn, but people want money for so many different reasons. And the main reason I have always wanted money was to give back. Of course, I want a comfortable life. I love comfort. I love safety. And of course, I want those things for myself, but I've also found that with like the bare minimum or with very little. I can feel comfortable and I can feel safe out in the middle of the woods with nothing but, you know, my tent, my car, a pillow, and some blankets. And that's okay for me. But because I feel the way I do about money, and because I want to use it in the way that I do, I deserve for a lot of money to come to me. Period. Since we already know I'm the creator, I get to create my life rather than my life just happening for me. Up until recently, my life, I've always just let my life happen to me. A few months ago, I saw a video online using an analogy from the movie The Notebook. Specifically the scene where Ryan Gosling is standing in the rain and he's yelling at Rachel McAdams and he's saying, like, what do you want? He's basically saying, I'll give you whatever you want. What do you want? And the message behind the video was, if someone was standing in front of you asking you this question right now, how would you answer? And that was really, really powerful to me, because in that moment, I didn't have an answer. I know it, but I know what I would like. You know, we all know like things that would seem nice, but I was not intentional with what I really wanted in life. So that next week I did sit down and I wrote it all out. I hung it on my closet door and it has been there every day since, and I look at it and I am so grateful that I did this, because these are the steps that I believe are making the biggest change. I'm not sharing it with you entirely because this is very, very personal to me. It's everything that I desire for my future self going forward. And that means, you know, in that scene from The Notebook, Rachel's describing like she sees a certain kind of house with certain windows, and I can't recall everything else that she says, but she's very specific. And I sat down and I started writing out what I want out of this life. And it was so clear to me, like the way the pen was just flowing on the paper and I was writing things out made me realize these are things that have always been inside me. These have always been my desires. This has always been my alignment. This is my truth right here. This is how I know every step I make going forward, every decision. Hello? It has tape on it. I just taped it to the freaking table. This here is exactly how I know every single thing that comes up in my life right now. Is this in alignment with my higher self, or is it not? And now that I have this written out and clear as day for me, it's made so many things and so many decisions and choices and just like situations. It has brought clarity to so much. It has brought clarity to so many situations. Now we're in a position where I have to start, I need money coming in. I'm trying to be so careful about my wording, because if you know, you know. But I want to generate an income in a way for myself to where I'm not only able to provide for myself financially, but things start moving in alignment with this. I'm able to focus my time and my energy on these things because the money is coming in. I'm being taken care of. I'm being provided for. Money is flowing. I made this decision a few months ago to finally really lean into manifesting my reality. And because I've been learning about it for a while, but once I had made the decision, like, that's it, this is really out of my hands at this point. I've gotten intentional with what I want and I'm taking the right steps to get it. And so now I'm just going to release it, which is very difficult for me. I want to make it work. I don't want somebody else making it work for me. I don't want to give this over to God. I want to be able to say that, like, I did this myself. And I've really had to work on that also. But a couple months ago, I decided, okay, that's it. I give it up. Here, it's yours. And I felt so much peace and I felt so good about that. And I knew that it was the right thing in my mind and in my heart. And I felt like so excited, like, okay, here we go. It's out there. It's yours. This is what I want. I was told to get specific. I was told, sit down, write it out. Your life, not what I wanted for people around me, not what I want for my daughter, what I want my life to look like. I sat down, I wrote it out, I got specific, and then I was like, woo, like, here we go. Like, I'm so excited. What's going to happen? You want to know what happened? A cute little lawsuit. Cute little lawsuit just for me. I'm being sued for money that I owe. Right after I made that decision. When I got the papers and when I realized what was happening, I cannot tell you how much it didn't feel like a test. And in that moment, it felt like my entire world was crumbling around me. And I immediately went into the, why me? Why is this my responsibility? Why is it my name? When I have been working why was this happening to me? Why me? And why can't I catch a break? And all these other things, right? Right after I had given it over, right after I'd said, okay, I release control of this, I get this. I just wanted to put that out there. All these tests, you know, it's the bills, it's my mom getting home from work, and she's gonna watch this video, so mom, please don't take this the wrong way, but it's her getting home from work and I can see she's exhausted and she's worn out and she's worn down from the job that she does. And it's that guilt that I feel like it shouldn't be this way. It should be me retiring her. It should be me saying, I did it and you don't have to work anymore. And it's the guilt and it's the shame. It's the lawsuit. It's the bills. And I see it as a test. I gave over full control. Now, how am I going to handle it, right? I'm going to do what I feel led to do despite what the world tells me I have to do. And I trust in that. And I can't wait to see how it comes out. But anyways, in the meantime, I know that I am the creator, so I need to start creating my life. I am a very, very creative person. I have brilliant ideas, but I have been lacking discipline these last couple years. My discipline the last couple years has just been to make myself a priority and to take care of my mental well-being, my physical well-being, so that I can still be here and participate in this life. Now it's time that I know I'm worthy to act upon those things. Like, I know I'm capable, I know I'm worthy, I know I'm equipped. It's time to continue working on those lack mindsets that tell me that I don't need money in order to be happy. I don't need money in order to have a successful life. It's time to really start dealing with some of those and push past that, because I know that even though I don't need it to make me happy, I deserve the comforts of life and I deserve the things that I want. Okay, I just sat down and I wrote out the things that are earning me income right now. So I do have a couple revenue streams set up without having a normal job. And one of those is I do have an OnlyFans. Started my OnlyFans last year in May on my 35th birthday for many different reasons. But one of those is, you know, the financial aspect of it. But like everything in my life, I wasn't prepared for the emotional and the mental journey that I was about to go through when I started the OnlyFans. I knew that it was the right choice for me and I felt very confident in making that choice. But then what happened is, as all these things were happening internally in my mind, in my body, in my being, it did affect like how I was able to manage OnlyFans. It hasn't been up to par with what I originally wanted. And so because it is the way that I'm personally making the most money for myself right now, it's imperative that I get intentional with it. So because of the financial mindset that I've had and because of the trauma that I've endured around money, there was just too many things sort of blocking me from managing OnlyFans the way that I would like to. And I realized that I'm not making the amount of money on that platform that is available to me because I'm lacking discipline and because I have not managed it to its fullest potential. So because it does earn me money, and because it is, it is a source that provides for me, I know that I have to get more disciplined with it in my life. And so what I've done here today is I took the couple things that do earn me money and I wrote them down. I made a schedule for myself, trying to reach that discipline point. I have all the tools. I have so much available to me in my mind, but I've really struggled with putting it all out and like actually making it work. So I struggle with that because I'm not disciplined with working on these things consistently and within a manner that is actually able to start like rolling at its own pace and kind of just start flowing. So I got intentional with my schedule and I sat down here and I wrote out exactly what I'm going to be working on what days for the next couple weeks. And it includes things that have to be taken care of in my life. And it includes also, I've scheduled in things that are in alignment with what I want. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. I gotta figure out this tape situation because this tape has not been working for me at all. But I figured out what I want. And so now what I want, there are things on this list that will generate income for me in the future. And it's how I see myself providing for myself in the future, but we're not there yet. And I can't just start picking things off this list that are going to make me money right now, this week, next week, because this stuff is going to take time. Okay. It's going to take a little time because it's specific. So what I did was I took, the income, the job that I do have right now, and I scheduled myself out. That's something I've never done before. I kind of just post as I want to, or if I'm feeling like it, or if I have something to post. It's time to do business a little different. Also in there, I want to stay in alignment with what I want for my future self going forward. So I have scheduled out time and I'm calling it, what did I call it? Learning a higher self skill. So what is something that this person, this version of me, when I get to this, what is something that she is going to be doing? Because it's very important that I start embodying her right now, even though this isn't my current reality. It's important that I start feeling, how is she going to feel? How does she operate in life? How is she disciplined in her life? I have to start embodying that right now. And in so many ways, I already have been. But I'm being more intentional and I'm being more disciplined. So I scheduled that time in there, and it's called a higher self skill. Embody this woman, learn the skills that she is going to need to learn, and be the woman as best as I can right now that she is going to be. So I've scheduled those things. I have to write them down. There's the ego side of me that keeps saying, like, people are going to watch this and they're going to be like, well, duh. But that hasn't been my reality. I have not written things out for myself in the past. I have not scheduled time like this, and I have not been disciplined in these ways in the past, and that's why I landed in the financial situation that I have. If I had been more disciplined, if I had a clearer vision, if I was able to make choices off of what was in my best alignment for myself throughout my life, I wouldn't be sitting right here, but I am. And some of these things may seem so simple to some people, but for people who've been operating in a way without them, it's life-changing. So that's all. I'm just sharing my process with you. So that's what I did. I sat down. I'm calling it my job, right? This is my job, to be in alignment with myself. If I were to rush out and start applying and putting in applications for other companies and go through that whole process, I'd be doing a disservice to myself knowing what I know about me at this point. My responsibility now to just readjust and to do things differently. And this time, this is how I'm doing it. Like I said earlier, I have all this knowledge. I know it. And I truly believe that when I apply it to my life, I am going to see it all come to fruition. But I just thought it'd be a little bit more exciting if I made a YouTube video about it and shared it with the world, so that you could watch the process. Something I didn't talk about is my gratitude, and how important that is in this entire process. Also, just remaining in a state of gratefulness, which is easy for me, because I have gone without the we're just gonna say it's easy for me to remain in a state of gratefulness because I am grateful. Look at me. Would you look at me? What do I not have to be grateful for? I've had a life of pain. I've had a life of trauma. That all happened because of choices that I made that were not in alignment with my highest self. All of the pain and all of the trauma that I endured, I look back and I accept full responsibility for it. Had I known myself better, had I loved myself more, I would not have even been in so many of these situations that led to the trauma in my life. It is my responsibility, and it's been 2 years of accepting that, forgiving myself, and finding my true value, finding my own worth so that I can move forward with my life. Now that I know I am the creator, now that I know my life is my responsibility, that what I put into it is what I'm going to get out of it. This is no lucky girl syndrome. I want to make that very, very clear. This is no lucky girl syndrome. If you go back to that video of, what I've been through versus who I am, you will see I am not a lucky girl. I don't consider myself ever to be lucky, but what I am is strong. I'm resilient. I'm open to learning new ways of thinking and new ways of being. And I'm consciously moving forward, making sure that I'm not out there chasing the money. I am not, wishing and praying and begging for the money to come to me. I do trust that it will, because I am embodying my higher self, because I'm embodying the woman who has the financial freedom. Because I'm already starting to think like her, and because I'm now starting to act like her. She doesn't have a 9-to-5 job. I'll tell you that much right now. She does not have a 9-to-5 job. What she does with her days, I'm going to start doing some of that and incorporating some of that into my life right now. I already do, but even more so, while I'm also just being intentional with the revenue streams that already do make me money. And I just believe in this process so much, and it is so exciting. I have no idea what's to come in the next couple weeks. I really don't. But there is just like this piece about me that I hope to get across to you in this video, and I hope that you're excited to keep watching and find out, what happens? Is it all gonna crash and burn? It could, and it could. Anything could happen. But the point is who I am now and how I'm gonna deal with that and how I'm gonna move through it. I'm gonna grow through it. And yeah, how exciting is that? Thank you guys so much for being here with me today and just for listening to me ramble. I know this video wasn't, me doing stuff and moving around, and every video is going to look a little bit different, but today was just about me sitting down and saying, this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be, and this is how we're going to get there. If nothing else, I just hope that your biggest takeaway from this video is that what you think is what you create. If you find yourself with a negative mindset about anything in your life, you're capable of changing it, you're capable of working on it, and you're capable of new perspective and new light. And it's okay to realize that things need to be done a little bit differently, and it's okay to rest while you need to rest. But we also need to live up to our fullest potential and realize how capable we are, and how gifted we are to create the reality that we want. And yeah, that's all. I hope you're filled with some of that today. I hope you speak kindly to yourself and lovingly to yourself. And I hope you know that you're worth everything in this world that you desire. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next Sunday with another video on something entirely different.
Whatever you want, you have to see it done. It's already accomplished. It's done.
Yeah, you always see the end objective.
The end goal, the end result.
Right.
And then people say, okay, but now I got to do this, this, and this to get it. Oh, no, you don't. Because then you limit them. Because they'll say, well, that's the only way they can do it. It's the way you're putting out there.
Right. Yeah, you have to, you know the end objective, what it is you want to accomplish, and then you release it. If you're hanging on to that outcome and you're peeking in on it every couple of days, okay, what's happening now? What's happening now? What's happening now? That will mess up the creation process. You just, this is what I want, and you let it go, and you let the universe have at it.
Because we've found it will happen in ways that you would never, ever expect. You could never plan the ways it happens. So we say, when we need something, we just say, I say, okay, guys, here's the next project. Do it. It's in your hands. And then we sit back and watch the magic. And it really is magic, because the way they do it, you could never, ever have planned it that way.